Anybody that has come into this country legally has full rights and is entitled to be here. In future, we're going to do things a bit differently. We're going to have smaller numbers coming into Britain, but everybody who is here legally must be treated the same as absolutely everybody else. And that's
all we want. That's
all we want. Yeah.
For me, it doesn't matter Brexit or in Europe or whatever.
Yes.
Because I'm in this country, for me, is important.
You can't describe what a racist means to you.
Someone that discriminates on those grounds, that's not us.
Let's have an immigration policy that doesn't discriminate against the engineer from India or the anaesthetist from New Zealand, because we now stop those people from coming in favour of unlimited numbers of people from southern and eastern Europe. And actually, UKIP's idea about how immigration into the UK should be managed and run is the most equitable of all the parties.
3 or 4 months ago, nobody levelled the charge of racism against us. I mean, literally nobody. No one thought UKIP was a racist party, and now the establishment and their friends in the media have done their very best to make sure that everybody thinks that. Mercifully, everybody doesn't think that. Am I pleased that those sort of things are being said about my party? No, I am not. So I think a lot of people see through what has been a sustained smear campaign in this country, and this party has never been a racist party, and I can assure you it never will be.
I've given you the definition of racist.
Well, yeah.
You told me what you thought about the fact that British workers should have a superior chance of getting a job above European workers, whether they're from Eastern Europe or whatever, and that is quite simply a racist comment.
No, it isn't. It is the job of a British government, firstly, to defend the realm, and secondly, to put the interests of the people that live in this country first. She is a member of our party and has been for some years, and she works for us in our head office in London.
Do you think you should have made that...
What is your problem with her?
I have no problem with her at all. I just wondered whether you should have made that clearer on your manifesto.
So I can't really win with you, can I? On the one hand, you're saying that we are talking about a white working class in Britain, and secondly, when I tell you that working directly for me is a girl who's half Indian, you've got a problem with that too.
No, I don't have a problem.
And I've got moderate Muslim friends living in this country, who feel every time there's a terror attack that their quality of life is declining hugely. So anything we can do to stop these things happening actually makes it better for everybody. There just seems to be a total lack of comprehension on this panel, and indeed amongst this audience, which is a remarkable audience, even by the left-wing standards of the BBC. I mean, this lot's pretty left-wing.
Hang on.
What I said about Cologne was that it's a huge issue in Germany. It's a huge issue in Sweden. I think Angela Merkel has made a big mistake by saying, please anyone come. And what's happened is a very large number of young single males have settled in Germany and in Sweden who come from cultures where attitudes towards women are different. I haven't scaremongered in any way at all. If I do believe in border controls, I do believe we need to have a sensible, balanced migration policy, and I do believe Germany have made a bad mistake.
No longer believes that UKIP are mostly closet racists. Do you think he's to blame at all for what's happened?
I think the entire political class, both Labour, Lib Dem and Conservatives, have all, since we opened the doors in 2004 and said to people in Eastern Europe, as many of you that want to come can, they've all tried to dampen down debate on this by throwing out the word racist in an attempt to stop anybody having a proper conversation on this issue. Well, don't judge us by one Conservative defector who made racist comments on a TV documentary. She's gone, that's the end of that. Well, that's what the other political parties would like you to believe, and they do their best. Whenever one of our people, however minor they may be, says something awful, it is blown up into a massive story. If it happens in the other parties, you're very unlikely to hear about it. But I would invite you, come along at 11:15 today and meet our black and ethnic minority candidates that are standing for us at local elections, at the general election, all over the country. And understand this, UKIP's immigration policy will give more opportunities to people from the rest of the world, especially from Commonwealth countries, because at the moment we have a massive bias in our immigration policy in favour of white people that come from Southern and Eastern Europe. So we are putting an ethical immigration policy forward. We're putting a fair policy forward, one that is fairer to people from the Commonwealth and fairer to British workers too.
Candidates.
Did they? Can I see the evidence? On what number?
You're not listening, are you?
How much of the 3% voted for UKIP?
I can't do a lot unless I'm allowed to
She's
talk.
put a very clear question to you.
Look, I'm explaining to you that I take a view that is strongly pro-Commonwealth. If we have an Australian-style point system rather than an open door to 508 million people, then actually it'll be better for black people coming into Britain who currently find it very difficult because we have this open door. And I would also say this to you, that once again, this attempt to demonise the Leave campaign or me, actually there is big support for this amongst the ethnic minorities in this country who know that actually our current open border policy is damaging all of our communities. And here's our chance, maybe our one and only chance as a nation to get a grip on this issue.
Imran, thank you very much indeed for your question.
I don't think so at all. I think somebody that holds the view that all of us that live legally in this country should speak the same language, get on together, integrate and become part of one society is actually even a stronger reason for somebody that holds those views to adopt or to be a foster parent, because they will be absolutely determined to make sure those children learn the language and flourish at school.
He was suspended.
Actually, all you found so far are people who are members of an organisation who've said bad things.
Well,
in the other parties, they do bad things.
Right.
All right?
But I haven't even asked you a question yet.
But look, I couldn't care less. Don't bother to ask me. I'm not interested. Right, it's gone. You know, I lived through years of this frankly, from you people, and I want no more of it.
I don't care what you call us. You can call us right wing, left wing. You can call us small minded. You can call us whatever you like. I don't care what you call us. But from this moment on, please do not ever call us a racist party. We are not a racist party.